Hello there, Ben Bowers, the Spirit Specialist, and I am here to talk to you about Nixta Corn Liqueur. Very distinctive bottle, very distinctive liquid. Let me give you a little bit of information about the Abasolo Distillery, who also make Abasolo Whisky, which is the base for this. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the distillery itself and how this is made before looking at the review, which I actually filmed last week, so you're going to find I'm going to be wearing slightly different clothes to what I'm wearing now. Enjoy!
Nixta Liqueur is produced at the Destilleria y Bodega Abasolo in the small town of Jilotepec, 100 kilometres northwest of Mexico City. It was the first purpose-built distillery in Mexico and is one of the highest in the world at around 7,800 feet above sea level. Nixta Liqueur uses the corn spirit that would otherwise eventually become Abasolo Whisky as its base, infusing it with early harvest Cacahuazintle corn on the cob alongside a sweet mash of nixtamalised corn. For more detail on nixtamalisation, watch my recent video review of Abasolo Whisky. A sugar solution is then added to the mix to sweeten it into a liqueur. Nixta Corn Liqueur is bottled at 30% and has arguably one of the most distinctive bottles you can possibly find on a shelf.
We're looking at about £35 a bottle, whereas the whisky itself is 40-ish. And it's one of those where when I first saw this and I saw the bottle, it was like, oh, this looks a bit kind of rustic. This could be sort of a bit harsh. Now, I have tried this in advance, so I am going to kind of like tell you up front, I really like this. But for your benefit, I'm going to be trying it again. Oh, I know, Ben, what a hard job you've got. But I want to try and give you an indication of what we're looking at here, because this is unlike anything else I have had before, and I love it because of that. So, on the nose, straight away, bang, in your face, sweet corn that's been cooked and then has dried out a little bit. You know when you get the sweet corn that you cook it and it kind of slightly overcooks, and I don't know what it is, but every time I cook corn on the cob, my kids love corn on the cob, so I cook it fairly often. Every time I cook it, and I boil it in a pan of water to then put butter over it, whenever I pull it out of the water after it's cooked, there are literally like 3 or 4 kernels dotted around the corn on the cob, not on the edges, but like in the middle of it, that are absolutely black. It's like these individual kernels are burnt to buggery and the rest of it is absolutely fine. And because they're 6, 7, 10-year-old kids, oh, I don't want that bit. So I've got to pick these little kernels, these individual kernels out because they look rubbish. But they smell a bit burnt, and it smells like slightly burnt corn on the cob. I tell you what it smells like actually. It smells like if you do corn on the cob on the barbecue, which is incredible, and it really smells of that. It's charred corn on the cob. There's a little bit of kind of like a fresh alcohol coming through as well. But absolutely on the nose, it's barbecued corn on the cob. Oh, right, if you like popcorn, if you like barbecued corn on the cob, you have to get this, because that's all I can taste is popcorn. And it's popcorn with warm butter drizzled over the top. The Abasolo Whisky had a caramel element to it as well, very much kind of like salted caramel popcorn. This is pure buttered popcorn. You could easily pour this over freshly made popcorn and you'd have the time of your life. It would be absolutely amazing. But it would be the same equivalent of having the fresh butter over buttered popcorn. It's absolutely delicious. I really don't know what you put with it in terms of cocktails because it's such an unusual flavour. We'll probably go with ginger ale, certainly won't go with tonic. Soda water's probably going to dilute it a little bit too much. Pineapple juice, apple juice, that sort of thing, it's got a nuttiness to it. So if you've got a cocktail recipe that needs like a nut-based liqueur, this would work. But this is more popcorn than hazelnuts or frangelico or anything like that. So it will give you a different expression. But to be honest, on its own, slightly chilled. Don't chill it too much. I would put this in the fridge, but if you're going to pour it out the fridge and maybe leave it for 5 minutes just to let it warm a little bit. Room temperature, you're going to get more of that sweetness coming through. But the more chilled it is, you're going to lose the popcorny element. And it would be a shame to lose that, because actually, to get the balance right, you want this lightly chilled on its own. Oh, I mean, that nose is so intense, like concentrated corn on the cob on the barbecue or concentrated freshly cooked popcorn. It really does smack you in the face. There's almost a hoppiness to it. It reminds me a little bit as well of When you go to a distillery and you go to the mash tuns, and it's got that kind of like malted barley feel to it as well, which I know can put some people off, and I can probably imagine that some people are going to nose this and go, oh no, because it's really unusual. But if you like that kind of weird, slightly sour but sweet nose of kind of like malting barley and cooking corn and all that sort of stuff, you're gonna love this. Oh man, it is, for me, it's purely popcorn. It's cooked on the barbecue, corn on the cob on the nose, but on the palate it really is liquid, slightly buttered popcorn. It's absolutely amazing stuff. It's so unique, it's so different. The bottle is really unusual. You give somebody that as a present and they're going to look at that and go, what the hell have you got me? Where did you pick that up from? This is probably about 200 years old. And it's not. This has only been out like 18 months or so. If you go into the cinema, instead of smuggling like a bag of sweets in, because let's face it, they are bloody expensive, just smuggle a little shot of this in. Put this in a hip flask and put that in your pocket, and you won't need to buy any popcorn because you can just take some nips of this throughout the film. Happy days. So it's available through our website, www.spiritspecialist.com. You're more than welcome to come into our store in East Yorkshire and purchase a bottle. I do have some tasting stock of it available, so you can try before you buy if you wish. I highly recommend it. If you like popcorn, or if you like cooked corn on the cob, you're going to love it. Just trust me on this, because I love both and I love this. I think it's fantastic. Right, that's me done. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.